2011 was the 14th year Bill and Jan Stevens hosted the Fort Howse endurance rides in Montana. Riders showed up from many parts of the United States and Canada for this popular weekend event of endurance riding. The Fort Howse endurance rides are known for their trails, and also they're known for the hospitality of its hosts. They put on a real feed for everyone on Friday and Saturday nights.
Medium or rare. Medium or medium rare.
Did you give
We're
it up
going
the
to put it
can?
after he put a cow on my...
This video is about the 100-mile ride on Sunday, which started at 5 in the morning. There were 15 starters in the 100-mile ride. Many were top riders and horses from all over the country. The first loop of the morning included a 10-mile leg, mostly uphill, to the first vet check of the day.
So I've been to the Fort Howse ride probably 6 or 7 times, and we've come here also for when they did the team challenge a few years ago. This is one of my favorite endurance rides. The Stevens do an amazing job with their organization. They always have a great group of officials. It's just a really wonderful event, and it's beautiful out here, so we always try to make it if at all possible.
When they got within 300 or 400 yards of the first vet check, the riders began to slow down so their horses would recover faster. The long climb had begun to separate the riders.
I knew that there would be top riders and top horses here. There were actually more than I expected, but worked out.
The horses have about an hour to relax at each vet check before continuing on, and the riders rest also.
So the first leg into the first vet check, the horses are fresh and there were a lot of big hills. So I, started out kind of slow behind some people, but right toward the front. Then some people passed and I went with them.
This first vet check was at about the 10-mile point. Now, the second part of this first loop begins down a county road and then across and up a broad meadow.
It's an outstanding trail. It's really a beautiful, beautiful trail. It has a lot of up and down, a lot of variety. It's very scenic. I think that it's one of the most premier endurance rides in the U.S. It's a great trail, well marked, challenging, but not abusive, with great scenery. And the host, Jan and Bill Stevens, they do a really super job.
After reaching the top of the hill in the meadow, the trail winds down through some trees before continuing through many meadows at a high elevation.
Well, this particular course, I think it's so stunningly beautiful the whole time that is very, very nice. And it's also nice that it kind of divides up the little segments so that there will be sections that are very tough, a lot of elevation change, and then there'll be stretches where it's fairly rolling or level and you can move along without a lot of stress for the horses. So it's nice having that kind of division.
Now, I hope you like to watch jerky shots taken from the helmet camera of one of the riders. These are here to help show you what these athletes endure. And these scenes may seem long, but they're just a tiny portion of what the rider and horse experience during the 100-mile endurance ride. This group of 4 riders is in the lead as they approach the 22-mile point, still on the first loop.
I ended up going out of the first check in, say, the 4th, 5th place. We passed one of the riders. I caught Une, and then we passed another rider, and then pretty much ran with the front 2 most of the day. And
a bit back from the leaders, the rest of the field was spread out. Here we are a mile or so before the end of the first loop at about 24 miles.
Who's already over there? Is that Jeremy? Jeremy and Heather? Maybe he's just over there.
At the end of the first loop, there was a vet check and about a 1-hour rest period. Shortly after starting the second loop, at about 27 miles, the riders encounter one of the steepest sustained climbs of the entire ride. Fortunately, the horses have just had a rest. Here, the group of 4 in the lead are beginning this climb. Jan Worthington isn't far behind. This hill may not look steep, but its length has a noticeable effect on many horses. After the hill climb, the trail flattens out for a while. This is at about 40 miles into the ride. A short distance behind the 4 leaders, you see Jan Worthington. This is one of the interesting outcroppings on the ride. This is the vet check and rest period at the 42-mile point. Each horse is examined by a vet to see that the horse is fit to continue. If the examining vet believes the horse may not be fit, then a committee of vets watches the horse and votes in a secret ballot whether the horse is in or out of the ride. Unfortunately, Jeremy Olson's horse could not continue. At the end of the rest period, the riders prepared their horses for the next loop. Valerie and Uoni's horses seemed to recover more quickly than the other 2 leaders, so they left the start first for the 20-mile blue loop. Then the other 2 horses in the lead group were released, and they worked to catch up and join Valerie and Uoni. Now the blue loop starts with a nice, easy stretch over pasture land. Jan Worthington wasn't far behind. The trail comes up a short hill and then crosses a country road. Cece was just getting ready to leave, wearing the little video camera on her helmet.
Do you have pictures somewhere from yesterday?
Throw it out of here.
Love you, babe.
Love you. Have fun.
Here she is, crossing the county road. Then, from the rider's point of view, we'll see parts of the climb at 45 miles.
Whoa! I should have prodded him before I went in there. Time. Oh yeah. Woo!
Here, Jan Worthington is at about 60 miles. She's just about ready to finish the blue loop. This is the vet check and rest period before the start of the yellow loop.
Starting to learn.
That went up to her hocks, and when she
I took some motion before we left.
Again, Valerie and Uoni's horses recover quickly, but the other two in the foursome aren't far behind. The group of 4 leaders formed again.
The strategy was to stay with the front group or within striking distance. I guess the third loop, one of the riders behind us was pretty near. Then he got pulled, and then the third loop, the person that was behind us really dropped back by 30 minutes, something like that. And we were pretty much on our own.
Here's our lead group again, near the finish of the yellow loop at about 84 miles. The riders like it when their horses want to drink water. That probably means the horses are feeling okay.
My original plan was the particular horse I was riding is a pretty good horse. I certainly would have loved to have won, but my main goal was really to see what she could do speed-wise on a pretty tough course and see if she could maintain speed all day. And I was really happy with how she did.
This is the last vet check and the last rest period.
The horses that I was riding with were really strong, tough horses, and then one of them at the last check seemed to have a little bit of trouble with metabolics. So she went out, so there were just 3 of us.
The ride is tensing up. Here we are at about 98 miles, 2 miles from the finish line. We still have 3 riders in contention. The pace is quickening. At the finish line, we couldn't see the riders. We were trying to figure out what was happening. So there was calculating, there was speculating. Finally, the riders came into view a half mile from the finish line, with Valerie in the lead and setting a fast pace. Here it is, the last 200 yards. Valerie and Uoni. After 100 miles, it's a race to the finish. It's Valerie by a neck, with Meg easing in behind them. But the first horse across the finish line is not necessarily the winner. The horse must be sound enough to continue the ride. Valerie looks nervous. A committee of vets examines the first horse, then takes a secret ballot. The horse passes. Valerie and her horse, Reach for the Gold, are the winners.